Mr. Tarantino, we'll begin with you.
Chairman Murray and Chairman Miller, Ranking Member Burr, and members of the committee, on behalf of Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America's 200,000 members and supporters, I want to thank you for inviting me to present IAVA's legislative priorities for 2012. My name is Tom Tarantino, and I am the Deputy Policy Director for IAVA. I proudly served 10 years in the Army, beginning my career as an enlisted reservist and leaving service as an active duty cavalry officer. As an Iraq veteran and a veterans advocate, I have seen firsthand the difficulties that many veterans face when transitioning out of service. I have seen young veterans who spend most of their formative years in uniform struggle to get the quality job training they need to be successful in the workforce. I've also seen wounded warriors who have made extraordinary sacrifices on the front line return home with physical and mental health injuries. For both, the transition is difficult, but sometimes it seems impossible. It's for these veterans and their families that each year IAVA asks, is our country prepared to build and support the new greatest generation? Unfortunately, with threats to the efficacy of veterans' benefits, continually high new veteran unemployment, and a record suicide rate, we are far from being able to answer yes. However, IAVA remains confident that we can do it. IAVA's 2012 policy agenda is a blueprint for addressing these issues head-on to ensure that every veteran has our country's unwavering support from the moment they return home and through the rest of their lives. We are ready to work with you to fundamentally change the way America supports veterans and to build the new greatest generation. And this year, we believe Congress must focus on the following priorities to do so. Continue to ensure that veterans are successful in the workforce. Ensure that veterans' earned education benefits make them career-ready and provide quality job training, and to stem the tide of veteran suicide. Now, written testimony and our policy agenda offers many solutions for these complex problems. However, I would like to spend my time today talking about the need to ensure that veterans are receiving high-quality, career-ready job training that they need to be successful in the workforce. Finding a job as a returning veteran is hard. Finding quality employment is sometimes even harder. And today, Iraq and Afghanistan veterans leaving the military are faced with civilian employers who simply do not understand the value of their skills and military experience. In 2012, we have to focus on properly implementing the Vow to Hire Heroes Act, making employment services more efficient, expanding TAP to encourage entrepreneurship, and ensuring that our veterans are receiving quality job training when using their hard-earned benefits. The post-9/11 GI Bill was the most robust and potentially effective job training and retraining benefit enacted by Congress in a generation. Also, expansions to VOC Rehab and the Montgomery GI Bill and the Vow to Hire Heroes Act will ensure that veterans will have even more opportunity to gain the critical job training and retraining they need to be successful in the workforce. Yet these critical programs are under attack, are under threat due to the lack of useful metrics and the subsequent inability of the VA and state approving agencies to prevent fraud, particularly in the realm of for-profit schools. IAVA recognizes that the vast majority of for-profit schools are honest actors. They provide an invaluable resource for many military members and veterans who do not wish to pursue traditional education. However, for-profits receive more than a third of GI Bill funds while accounting for less than a third of GI Bill graduates. Out of the top 10 institutions receiving GI Bill money, 8 are for-profits, and we are concerned that this industry is not producing the return proportional to the benefits being spent. We believe a three-prong approach is necessary to solve this problem. First, we must collect useful data on both student and institutional success. Without mandatory, uniform data collection across the board, profit, nonprofit, public and private, we will never be able to give student veterans the tools they need to make the choices that meet their needs. The first step toward addressing this problem is to collect data so it can be used to compare outcomes across a variety of educational, trade, and credentialing programs. 2, we need clear, comprehensible, and easily accessible consumer education. Having data on schools is useless unless we can present this to students in a manner that they can digest. This should include both online methods of comparing schools as well as a commitment to increase educational counseling for veterans. Right now, a veteran can choose to opt in to VA education and counseling, yet very few really do. We believe that this should be offered to all veterans with the option of opting out. And third, we must ensure that the free market can weed out poorly performing schools by closing a loophole in the 90-10 rule that does not include or classify DoD and VA funds as government dollars. This inequity in the law has allowed for-profit schools to aggressively recruit veterans and service members because under this loophole, for every vet a for-profit school recruits, it can recruit 9 more students on federal financial aid. IAVA recommends that Congress act swiftly to address this loophole in the law in order to restore the free market control in this industry and prevent bad actors from seeing veterans as dollar signs in uniform. I would like to thank Senators Murray, Webb, as well as Congressman Stutzman and Bill Rackus for introducing legislation that will solve many of these problems, and we are looking forward to having a bill on the President's desk by the end of the summer. Caring for the men and women who defend freedom is a solemn responsibility that belongs to all lawmakers, business leaders, and everyday citizens alike. And in the past, we have seen a turning point in the way we care and provide for our nation's warriors. Despite critical successes, however, education, mental health, and employment are not up to standard. We must remain ever vigilant and continue to show men and women who volunteer to serve their country that we have their backs. Thank you for your time and attention. I look forward to answering your questions.
Thank you.